So today we're going to be looking at some of the products that you want to be definitely keeping your eye on and potentially worth a look in. Now obviously it's not a guarantee that any of this goes up. We could see an absolute collapse. Realistically, with data-driven kind of stuff when it comes to Pokemon, we know full well that there is a very good chance that a lot of this will stay hyped for a considerable amount of time. Now, like we've seen with a big high market, there is always a potential of a low market as well, which is where you could really look at some of these products even more. I think if we was just going into one thing, and I would say, well, in fact, if there's two of the big things that I personally think are going to be your best option to really have a look at if you've got no sealed product whatsoever, the first one's going to be Prismatic. This just seems to be a set that keeps on giving. And the best thing about it is every time we get some sort of evolution set, which I will say, if we ever, well, I don't know if it's going to be Gen 10, but say we do get another addition to an evolution, Evolving Skies, just generically singles as well. I think anything single-wise. If we get an evolution card come in and it adds another evolution to the set, all of this is going to go crazy again. We saw the same with the Moonbryon. That obviously went absolutely nuts once we got the Sunbryon. It's just the Prismatic Umbreon. We saw a massive increase on that single. Evolving Skies went up, and to be honest, that set is already doing incredible. I feel like Prismatic is a goldmine when it comes to anything. Holding this for whatever you can is going to be one of the best things that you can do. Now, obviously, it's very difficult to get. It's not necessarily that you can choose to go and find this at MSRP, so you are going to have to really have a look at this in a market price. Obviously, the best sort of products. ETBs are great. I don't think they're the best bang for your buck. If you can find booster bundles, if you can find the super premium collection, just look at this collection box already. We are sitting at a top end at the moment of 317. This is a product and a half. Like you know full well, it came down from the pre-order, the kind of pre-order sales from about 500, give or take. Obviously there might be other listings that are not quite on here, but we saw it come down all the way down to 240. We're now back up at 320 already. I feel like as a holded product, this is always going to be a fantastic little pickup, even for just your collection in general. I just think if you are building this to not necessarily be an investment only, so like this is products that you either display, products that you just personally like, even if you just have one. I don't like being greedy. I will never say go and buy 50 of these because it's very difficult to find 50, but also I like a sealed collection for the purpose of being sealed. Now, obviously, you will want to make some money off it. That's absolutely fine. I personally like singles. I like sets complete. I'm not really much of a sealed collector in myself, as I just open everything. But as a product goes, I just like the box, to be honest. I think even if I was just having the box open, it's a very cool sealed product to have. It's obviously going to be iconic later down the line. I would love the playmat as well. I've got Charizard over here, I've got Gengar, Muse underneath, there's just everything in the background, you can see everything. It's just a very cool product to have, and obviously when it comes to the most amount of packs, I think you get, 16 or is it 15 packs of only Prismatic. That's going to be a big winner. And then obviously any of the booster bundles, any of the ETBs are always going to be pretty fantastic. I'm not too clued up on the surprise boxes. Again, they could be well worth a look in. I think if you get anything, to be honest, even if you get single packs, they're still going to be pretty good later on down the line. The only thing I wouldn't necessarily stock keep is going to be like a binder collection or poster. Maybe one of them, just again to have like the Prismatic collection. I do like the tins. I've got a set of them opened, but I did want to kind of have them in some sort of display. The only one I need is Vaporeon, so I still need to go get that one because I ordered two of the same. Lovely to see. But then we look at the booster bundles wherever they are. They're coming in at 70 at the moment. This is your normally the booster bundle is like your best bang for buck. It's 6 packs only. There's no promos or anything like that, so it is just specifically packs. Again, you'll see that we saw a massive high demand, and it's slowly clawing its way up there. It's not like it dropped loads. It was down to 20. Normally these are coming in at like what, 25 a piece, 25 pounds, so about $35 each normally, like on MSRP. So we are seeing them slightly above that by nearly triple. But I mean, even so, they are kind of like the ones that I would say are well worth in the future. If I was to put any money on it, I think Prismatic and 151 are the two sets that I would say are just going to be a collection piece, to say the least. Obviously, with 151, there is a lot of nice designs. Like, obviously, you've got the Alakazam case, you've got the Zapdos. I think they are really cool pieces, mainly because when you look at like an ultra premium, again, you've got the 151. I actually did open that one. Was beautiful. Was a great, just a great set to open. I managed to get mine at 100. So just crazy to see it now at 762 in dollars. So what, about 600, 650? To say I opened that 2 years ago now, and quite literally it's 5 times its value is absolutely nuts. But I did enjoy opening it. I got the metal card and the promo cards to kind of show for it, and it started my 151 journey very well, actually. ETBs, love the Snorlax on top. Obviously, Pokemon Center is going to be another beast that you can kind of conquer, but in general, I'm quite happy with any. Again, the packs double the value of Prismatic. You've got the 151 Poster Collection. Again, really nice piece with the Binder Collection, but I do think when you've got something you can see, like the Zapdos, like the Alakazam, you've got the Blooming Waters, which I don't know if I can see it here, but is another fantastic one that I didn't even see. I don't think I saw even one in the wild at all. And it does have the tins as well. I think as a tin display, beautiful. Each to their own on the tins. I like the evolutions because they are the evolutions. I personally would go for like the Gengar, probably the Gengar, Arcanine, and also Dragonite, but I do like 151. Like that is my jam. Like that is absolutely what I grew up on. So I do think them two specifically are just going to be masterpieces. I feel like you could pick them up at whatever price and they'll be fine. Like they are them sort of sets where you don't really need to worry about them, to be honest. They are just always going to keep going. Obviously, in a kind of a lower market, could we see them dip? It's a potential, but then I just think at this point, even in the low market, I feel like people would just gobble them up completely. So them two sets are kind of like your high entry. I would say you're gonna have to buy at pretty decent prices as much as you can, and you're gonna have to hold because they already are up. Like, you look at that 151 collection box. I'm not saying that you buy that and it still goes up. Like, we've definitely seen ups and downs, but predominantly we've seen a lot of up on that one. So it is always interesting whenever looking at prices as well, especially through just TCG. Do your research if you are looking to buy one. Like, this is just a very, very generic scope. I'm not looking at the View More data. I'm not looking at eBay. You've got country of origin. So say if you're buying in the US, it could be totally different to the UK. So definitely check your prices. If you are making a trip, it seems to be that the US tends to have slightly better prices on stuff. Then have a look. If you are planning a trip over, definitely worth holding a few extra pennies to see if you could pick something up. You might even get it at a better value in comparison to the UK. It's always a possibility, especially with different products out there. So them two are just the easy ones that I would say. Prismatic, 151, absolutely. Now, obviously we are looking at a lot of booster boxes today because they are going to be the best that you can find per set. Like, realistically, when it comes to a main set, I would say they are going to be booster bundles as kind of like the minimum, and then booster boxes as one of the better ones. When it comes to like the premium collection of, say, like the Charizard, where it's got multiple packs from different sets, it can be questionable because it all varies on the set. So if you are looking at, for instance, a Surge and Spark, we know that there is a lot of solid cards within that set. We know that it is a fan favorite with a lot of people. The Pikachu coming in with the obvious cheeks. Then obviously Latias Latias. You've got a bit of Executor. And you've got Melodic, which is quite a nice card. I still need to get that one for my master set on this one. But when we do look at quite a lot of this design and you think, well, this was coming in majorly priced. Like, this was a high priced box. Now coming in at about 264 on average here. We are going to see a few prices between 250 and kind of lower end of, what was it, like probably find it about 240 as well, depending on the buyer. You definitely want to get something like this sealed more so than open. That's just natural when it comes to booster boxes. I do think this will be an interesting one for the future. Again, kind of coming in slightly on the higher end in terms of what it used to be compared to now. Obviously, this is only a year graph as well. I don't actually know when this fully came out. So this was November 2024, so we are way over a year. Like I say, do your research and look at the start. Like, this could have came from way up here, and we obviously are looking at it now and just seeing the year graph of where we're at, especially because this was like the biggest hype year that we've seen so far. It's very interesting to see it still relatively low in comparison to a lot of the new sets that we've got. It's an interesting one, and again, one that comes into mind, Stellar Crown. Now, obviously with this one, it is slightly higher than Surge and Sparks. Again, double check your stuff, because sometimes it can just be that little bit higher for no reason. It could just be that there is a very kind of almost non-existent market for it, because Stellar Crown as a set in itself is one of the cheapest in the S&V era. Obviously, you've got Obsidian Flames, I believe is still taking that as number one, but Stellar Crown is very, very close behind it. Predominantly, the people are only really looking for the Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and then failing that, Terrapagos, which is, it's like a £25 card now. Even the Bulbasaur and Squirtle are only about 50 each. So it is going to be purely, I would say, a one-off purchase. I'd only get one to hold if you're going for a booster box sealed set, because if you're buying loads of these, I think it could be a very interesting up and down side, because there's no big card, there's no absolute heat card that's £200-300 or could look to go more. That Bulbasaur and Squirtle are not reaching over 200 each, like it's just not happening. Whereas if we look at something like a Twilight, we know full well that Greninja is going to be doing pretty well still. Like, that's just a standard card across the board. Obviously, when you do look at the Greninja, it is an absolutely stunning card, to say the least. And if we do go into the set from it, you'll obviously see a fair whack of sets that probably do catch people's eyes. I would be looking further down if humanly possible, because the newer sets are going to have the most heat for right now. You'll see them kind of really tailing off a little bit. But you do look at like the Eevee in this set. It is, again, a more fan favorite. You've obviously got the Greninja still coming in very nice. Perrin, obviously mixed with the Growlithe. You've got the Eevee, which is just a normal illustration rare. So 65 just from that. Let alone everything else that is coming in this set. The Chansey is doing wonders. I absolutely love that Growlithe coming in. I'm not too much of a fan of the Ogerpons, but there could be somebody that's got a favourite there. It's more than possible. So it is a very interesting one to see, and I think that would be worth more of a look in, just purely on the fact that that Greninja is still almost the same as a booster box, so you're kind of paying what you pay for the Greninja just in one specific box. Then we're going to go into a bit more of a niche set. We're looking like the Temporal Forces. You've got a few around that era where I'm like, okay, that could be interesting. We've seen some like Paldea Evolve that I do think have had their kind of boom in this, and they're not necessarily really going too crazy from it. But when we do look at Temporal Forces, it is an interesting one, because there is going to be a decent market for it. You've seen it. These Temporal, Paldea, even the base set, we saw Obsidian, all at like £80, £90 before we got into like the Surge and Sparks and then the Prismatic, where then they just doubled. Like, they just went nuts. All of these were obtainable at about £80-90 for months. Even I saw them and thought, well, I mean, there's probably a lot of people doing moves with them, but you just couldn't outbuy them. Like, they just were there. You could buy full booster boxes from TikTok, from Amazon, I mean, you probably couldn't get the whole box from your local store. Maybe if you've got a deal with them, then yes, but naturally now we look at them and think, okay, well, they were a serious investment just a year ago. Like, you looked at them last year, you could probably get them pretty well in that November time, and now we're looking at like literally triple the value. It's absolutely crazy. So again, another worth at a look in. The only one that I'm unsure about, and I'm only really going off Sword and Shield's base set and then kind of like your normal base sets, they tend to be the most uninspiring. And we also have Mega Evolution in this, because they just are the start of an era. It's almost like, especially with how Pokemon run it, they tend to leave their best sets till last. Like, it's in most kind of cases when you look at this. Obviously, when we look at kind of your Black and White, I think were phenomenal. Even Destined Rivals to some extent was good. I don't think it was absolutely nuts, but it was good enough, I would say. Journey Together's definitely could have been like a mid-era set. Prismatic's phenomenal. Surgeon's phenomenal. I'd even go as far to say Twilight was a major release. Stellar Crown Shrouded was almost like a break period where where you knew that the cards weren't going to be crazy or crazy expensive, so you could kind of filter through their cards a little bit. We saw the same with Crown Zenith, we saw Silver Tempest, Lost Origin, even Astral Radiance started it very well. And then we come back to like the Fusion Strikes, Evolving Skies, that after the fact did really, really well. Before that, we're looking at like Cosmic, we're looking at Hidden Fates, Unified Minds, Unbroken Bonds. They were, and even Team Up as well, they were magnificent in their heyday. Now, were they incredible at the very start? No, like they were affordable. They were most definitely affordable. And now you look at them and think, how on earth do I remortgage something? Because genuinely, they just come in so expensive. And before that is kind of where it's away from my time. I didn't really collect too much of X and Y. I got a few Evolution boxes, or a few Evolution blisters more than anything, but that was purely on like a mid back into the community side of stuff. It weren't crazy. I just saw the Charizard and thought, you know what, I'll open a few packs. But I never really looked at Sun and Moon base. I never really kind of looked at like a Fates Collide or a Steam Siege. I had a couple of the cards, but I definitely weren't collecting at that point. So it is interesting to see where that base set will truly go, because Mega Evolution, it's kind of got the same really. Like you look at it, it had a massive start. It's coming in, a normal base set coming in at 340 is absurd. Like you are not paying 340 for a set that I think was nice. It's a good set, but most definitely you will see the downwards trajectory. And then I want to see kind of like 6 months on from this, where do we see that box at? Because I feel like this could be another one that drops down very well and will potentially be worth a pickup in the future. And this booster box specifically, because I know that you can actually find them. Which then kind of gives me to the Phantasmal as well. Anything new, always wait a little bit. Like unless you see something like you just know in the market, you have a feeling of it, you just know that it's going to go up, then fair enough. Like that is your own prerogative, because you know a little bit more on what you specifically are looking for. If you kind of think this Charizard, the gold cards are going to go to the moon, absolutely. Like the Charizard in this set would lead me to believe that it's going to be a set that does kind of keep the time, really. Like you look at it and it is a beautiful card. It's coming in now at 665 still. You know it's not going to drop crazy. Like it is one of the best illustration Charizards that we'll probably ever see for a little bit now. Like unless you get something that involves the Mega Charizard and Y in like a tag team up, that would be the only thing that I think would take away from this card personally, because it is just that nice. The gold cards are not everybody's cup of tea. They're not my cup of tea. I don't really like them. I like all of the other illustrations. Like, I like where they're going with a bit of nostalgic, obviously with the Meowth, with the background. Obviously, we saw the same for the Wooper, which is in this set, looking at the Scarlet and Violet era. I like that sort of stuff when it comes to the illustrations, and it works in that nostalgic vibe, in that kind of almost card to game ratio. It works for me, nostalgia. You've got the new gen and the old gen all in one set, and then you've also got a Charizard chance that will just outlast everything. And then really the only other set that I think could be an absolute winner, and to be honest, I don't even know if the set is really done it itself or it's purely just the mismatch of products coming out, and that is going to be the Ascended Heroes. We know full well at the minute, with the last three kind of major special sets that we've got, from Ascended Heroes to obviously the Black Bolt and White Flare to the Prismatic to the 151, they've all been absolute heat. Like, they've all been incredible. And if we kind of keep going, and this is where the kind of caveat of these newer sets are, we have got a long time of them being in a print run. We know that Pokemon have kind of advanced more purchasing power with different printers, so there is a chance that they go and print loads. I'm hoping they do, because I do love this set. I've been kind of looking at it in Japanese for a little bit and then trying to find whatever products I personally can to open. But I do think this will be an interesting one that will most definitely over the year, especially with Celebration still coming into effect, be an absolute just powerhouse. At the moment, I believe you can find Elite Trainer boxes for around about £70 to £80. The Pokemon Center ones have gone nuts recently. Like, you're looking at almost £200 to £300 per one. And to be honest, I haven't really seen these. These are all pre-sales. Again, these will be incredible once more. Mega Emboar, Mega Feraligatr, and Meganium, all brand new to obviously the TCG. And then obviously you've got the First Partners Deluxe. Again, all incredible stuff. We've very rarely had anything like, we've still got booster bundles to come. We had blisters, I want to say, which I believe should be on this one. We have got blisters already coming out. Booster bundles are obviously on pre-order at the moment. I don't know if we've had tins yet. We might have had tins, but I don't know if that was with the ETBs or not. We had the blisters come out, which was the only thing in the UK that came out, unfortunately. So there is still a lot to come with this. More than likely, we see a premium collection. I do think this set specifically is one to definitely have a look at. It kind of reminds me of like the hype of Prismatic and the hype of 151. Just with the set in itself, it is a very nice set, so you know full well you've got the cards to back it up again. The Gengar at 941, take it with a pinch. It's not necessarily released that much yet. 592 with Dragonite. You've got a gold Charizard, a cold Dragonite. You've got a beautiful Pikachu. One of my, I don't know why, like don't ask me why, I don't know why I really like that Mewtwo. It is such a shame it is not called Giovanni's Mewtwo, as I think that doubles the value. I like the Pikachu, Lilius Clefairy. You've got the Fraligator, the Meganium, the Emboar. Everything in this set is just absolute heat for me. So I am big fan of this. Even if you go down to like just the illustrations, the Psyducks of the world, and then going even further, it's just a massive set to collect, and I do think that will be the interest inside for it. So let me know down below what you think about all of these products. Are you looking at any of them? Have you got a stockpile of something? Like I said, I'm not saying go and buy everything in absolute bulk loads. If you want to, fair enough. But at least like a one-time product of them to get your sealed collection up, I don't think is a bad thing to have. A lot of people are collecting sealed. If you want to collect the sets, I will do this, but for cards specifically, and we'll kind of go over some high budget, some low budget, and mediums going through, and we'll go through some different eras. If we look at some Sun and Moon, some X and Y, and then even then we could possibly look at some vintage as well. Leave a comment down below your favorites, and I'll catch you all for the next one. Peace.